Good morning, everyone. It is day 3 of vlogmas. I still haven't edited day 2, but that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna go make some coffee and edit day 2. So let's go do that together. Okay, I finished editing. Oh my god, I have a new pimple. What the heck? I finished editing. I'm watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and now I'm gonna work on some homework while I do that. And I think I should have something for breakfast, but my stomach kind of hurts, so I don't know. Hey guys, I actually am really hungry now. So I'm gonna make myself some soup. So if you're Hispanic, you know. If you know, you know. These are so delicious. These are like my go-to sick food. Like every time I'm sick, my mom will make this for me. Or anytime we're in Mexico, I love to have these. They're so good. The elbows one. So we're gonna have some of this. I've never talked to anyone here, at least, who's had this before. So I'm assuming it's just a Hispanic thing. But oh yeah, and it literally says from Mexico. Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, we're gonna make some soup. I was letting the water run so it could get a little hot. To make the boiling faster. So we're gonna see. It says to do 4.5 cups. But I just have the spoon. And since it's just water, I don't really even have to wash it. Now I'm gonna let this boil. Okay, well, I'm waiting on this to boil. I was scrolling through Reels, and I saw, was it Reels or TikTok? I don't know. But I saw one of the Stranger Things, is it a play or a musical? I think it's a play on Broadway, and Karen Wheeler is blonde. Which okay, right, she's blonde in this show. No, she's not. She's not a natural blonde. And I can say this because I'm also not a natural blonde. Her hair in the first 2 seasons was brown. And then it was a bleach blonde in season 3, 4, and 5. But I'm what the heck? She's not a natural blonde. Sometimes I feel with Stranger Things, I love that show so much. I love it. I've been obsessed with it since I was 12. But sometimes I feel they leave out a lot of details from the previous seasons. They forget about them. And I'm what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? But anyway, that's my rant about Stranger Things right now. But okay, now we can talk about, actually, let's talk about season 5. If you haven't seen the first volume of season 5, just skip ahead. But I think it's really good so far. And my hot take, I love Steve. He's my favorite character. But I am team Jonathan and Nancy. I said it. I ship them more than I Steve. Whoa. I ship them more than I ship Nancy and Steve. And I'll tell you why. Actually, I don't know why. But when I was watching season 2 for the first time, I was immediately oh my god. Hold on. Okay, anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm gonna watch that from here just in case I don't think it's gonna roll over. But yeah, I think Jonathan gets Nancy more, and yeah, they had kind of a rough season in season 4. Things weren't looking that good. But I just don't see Nancy wanting to have this whole dream life with Steve of becoming a housewife and all of these things, because literally in season 1 she's talking about how much she basically hates it. That's what her mom's life turned out to be. And her and Jonathan have a conversation about it in season 1, where Jonathan is telling her she has this picture perfect family. They live on the end of the cul-de-sac, blah 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 blah. and how Nancy was going to turn out the same way if she was going to be with Steve. And in season 4, when like they're having the conversation in the van, and Steve is telling her like basically like, yeah, he still loves her, and like he dreams about like having like all of these kids, and he hopes that when like in his dreams it's always her as the mom. I just don't think that's what Nancy wants, okay? It's not what she wants. It's not what she wants. Nothing of her like character development aligns with that. I didn't love Nancy in season 1. I loved how like set she was on figuring out what happened to Barb and all that stuff, but I feel like the way she kind of went about things when it came to being in between Steve and Jonathan was not the best. But you know, she was just a girl. She's just a girl, I guess. But I do now think that her and Steve just would not be good anymore. They don't want the same things in the future. And I know, I guess, technically with Jonathan is kind of going through stuff right now. I don't know what's going on with Jonathan. But even then, in like, when they were arguing, when Jonathan and Steve were arguing in the van, and Steve was like, you need to go like bring her flowers, make sure she's doing okay. And Jonathan's like, I'm sure she's fine. Like, yeah, that did look a little bit like bad on Jonathan's end to like not want to go and like make sure his girlfriend is doing okay. But I still think that, I don't know, it just shows that Steve still doesn't know Nancy as well as he thinks he does. Because she doesn't really exactly need the comfort of a man, you know? She's very independent. She's a girl boss. And yes, it would be nice, but it's like, she doesn't need like flowers and all of that, you know? Anyway, that's my hot take. Because every time I tell someone that, they're like, oh, no, Nancy and Steve. And I'm like, no. But what do I know? If Nancy ends up with Steve, I won't be mad, I guess, even though I want Steve with me, but whatever. Anyway, we're gonna keep waiting on this soup to boil. Okay, I had my soup, and it's also dark now, so that sucks, but we're gonna do day 3 of the advent calendar. Let's see where it is. Okay, hello. There it is. Right here. Quite delicious. I think I'm gonna finish a little bit more homework and then I'll come back. I'll figure something out. Okay, all of my homework is done, and I watched a little bit more of TV after that because The Secret Life of Memoirs, it's just so good. But now I think I kind of want to have a little bit of a self-care night, so let's do that. Guys, I think I'm gonna wrap the video up here because I'm honestly so sleepy. But I'm also thinking I have a lot of other videos that I filmed over the summer with some friends, and so I'm thinking maybe for vlogmas, if there's like days that I can't film, I can edit those and upload those. So let me know what you think about that, and yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.